Hello, Earth Science students. This video is to help you with the experiment section of your first test. The test is on October 22nd, so the experiment section is due that day. I know you hear this all the time, don't procrastinate, and I know some of you work well under pressure, and so you often procrastinate so that you feel that pressure and you work better. That's not going to work completely for this project. You need to start early because this involves actually conducting an experiment. It's kind of a pseudo science fair type deal. So if you don't give yourself enough time to gather materials, conduct the experiment, collect data, analyze data, organize data, report data, then you're going to be screwed when you get to Monday night and you don't have anything. You really should have your topic picked by Thursday, October 17th. You don't have to tell me which topic you pick if it's one of the ones on the list that I gave you, which is on the study guide on the website. You only need to talk to me about your topic if it's one that's not on that list. Don't overthink your choice. If you choose a topic on the list, it's going to be fine. They're all geared for earth science, middle school level. I'm not asking you to do something that a college student couldn't do. So this should be challenging, but not too hard. So once you've chosen your experiment, you need to plan it out, create a timeline. This is really so that you don't spend too much time on this project. When all is said and done, you should have spent about 2 hours, and that's probably overestimating. If you spend less time, that's good. I really don't want you spending more than 20 minutes a day if you're going to break it down into 7 days. Even if you choose to do it all over the weekend, that's only 2 hours over your weekend, so you should have plenty of time to do other things, especially given that Thursday and Friday you won't be in school. So create your timeline. When you're creating your timeline, you need to give yourself time to collect materials, plan what you're going to be doing. Think about documenting your experiment as you go, so taking pictures or having somebody else take pictures while you're doing the experiment, jotting down notes, collecting data. You might want to set up data charts before you start if your experiment is going to call for a data chart. So in your timeline, you need to count for all of those aspects. And when you're creating your timeline, allot extra time. So even if you think it's only going to take you 5 minutes to do a certain part, give yourself 10 minutes to do that part. And that way, you're prepared if it does take you extra time. And if it only takes you 5 minutes, that's great. You'll have extra time at the end. Also, ask for help. Yes, this is a test, so you cannot work on the same product as another student in the class, but if you would like to ask another student for help, or if you want to ask your parents for help, or your aunts, your uncles, or grandma, grandpa, sister, brother, whatever, you can ask for help as long as you are turning in that final product, and that final product is yours. When you choose a topic, you might want to think about what materials that topic requires. It would be best if you have those materials at home, and that would cut out the time of going and getting any materials. It also would help if you're interested in the topic. I know there's a limited range of topics that I provided, so that may or may not work, but if there's something you are leaning towards more than another, pick the one that you're more interested in. When you are starting the experiment, think about the end goal. Know that you have to give me proof of the experiment that's documented in the study guide. So it's basically, it could be a Word document or a handwritten paper that has basically the objectives, procedure, data, analysis, and results. So it's kind of like a lab report, but it'll be easier to give me that documentation if you do it as you go along the experiment. Think about what you expect to happen in the experiments, because they're all about earth science and they're all sort of related to stuff we've learned already. So you shouldn't have to do any extra research for your topic. If you happen to, that's great, but you shouldn't have to. I've said this already, but can't hurt to say it again. When you're conducting your experiment, document your process as you go. It's going to be harder and take longer to provide documentation of the experiment if you do it once it's all done, because then you're going to have to really go back and think about what happened. So if you do it as you go, that will take you less time and it will probably give you a better product in the end. When you are done with the experiment and you've collected all your data, just be aware that analysis is different from results. So by just providing me with a data table doesn't provide me with analysis or results. Analysis is the basically math of the data. So that might involve finding the averages. It might involve creating a graph. That all depends on what experiment you choose. And that's the analysis part. Then the results part is, what did you learn from the analysis? Did it tell you something is greater than or less than something else? Or what did that math that you did in the analysis imply? So you want to make sure that you differentiate your data collection from your analysis from your results. And then your final product, it could either be handwritten or typed. You can hand it to me as an assignment in class on the 22nd, or you could email it or post it on NGrade before the 22nd. This final product, this collection of documentation about your experiment, shouldn't take you very long if you do it as you go. Putting it all together really shouldn't take you more than 15-20 minutes, because all of the legwork should be done as you are doing your experiment. As always, as you get more and more into this project, if you are finding that you're running into questions or stumbling blocks, or if it's starting to frustrate you, contact me. Let me know what's going on so that I can best help you. This shouldn't be a super frustrating experience. This should be a learning experience. So you should learn how to do an experiment, how to collect data, how to analyze data, and how to present data that all relate to earth science, so that it gives you experimental experience as well as kind of tying to the concepts that we've learned in class. So that's all for this video. Thank you very much.